My name is Maria Martinez, and this is my partner, Kimberly Sanchez, and our research is Biodiversity Studies in South Texas Ecosystems. In spring of 2021, we observed and collected data from two new locations, locations A and B. Each group member was assigned to one specific location due to the pandemic. The locations took place in each of the members' backyard. Using observational, qualitative, and quantitative data as our methodology, we were able to perfectly collect our data. Observational data is the study of behavior and activity of humans and animals, in this case, the birds. Qualitative data is collecting descriptive and conceptual content, whereas quantitative data is collecting numbers and measurements. These methods were also used in spring of 2020 to collect our data from the two locations in Laredo College and the Ranch La Perla in the outskirts of Laredo. After all the data was collected, using the Shannon Wiener index formula, we calculated the biodiversity between the locations.
Birds play a tremendous role in the ecosystem that we live in and contribute to our life. Birds are immensely sensitive to changes in weather and environment, so they are good indicators to help us detect when something is wrong. For this research, we kept track of the diversity of birds at two different locations over a period of time, using the Shannon Wiener index formula to compare the biodiversity between both locations. This was a great experience that helped us get another point of view of the different birds around the city. We also had a major cold front in the month of February, and this affected the bird population and data collected.
During our research, there was 3 specific questions made, which were, why is biodiversity important? Biodiversity is important because it provides a proper functioning ecosystem. Each species has their own specific niche to better the environment. If anything goes wrong or a role is not being played out, it can bring changes and consequences to the ecosystem. Another question was, how does bird biodiversity impact our ecosystem? Since birds are mid-level consumers to top predators, they help maintain a sustainable population level of different insects and animals. Birds also help with the growth of different plants. For example, birds eat the seeds of the fruits, which eventually, through feces, the seeds become plants. The last question was, will birding from our own location differ from the different kinds of birds we see from the ones at the ranch and Laredo College? Birding from our own locations does differ the kinds of birds than the ones at Laredo College and the ranch. In the locations used for spring 2021, there was a lot of noises due to roads or neighborhoods, which made it difficult for many quantity of birds to be seen, whereas in the ranch and in the college, there was a greater space for the birds to be seen, because there was an abundance of trees and there was rarely any noise in the college and in the ranch. In these two locations, there was also a great amount of body of water, which also benefited by bringing in more birds and more species.
The data that was collected for this research was the different bird species and the total amount of birds seen. The data was collected by having a team member bird at one location and having them collect the number of species and total birds seen. The team member would record the data and use the internet to identify the different bird species. Data was collected at the different locations 1 to 2 times a week using bird feeders to attract the birds.
Location A. In location A, there is near an intersection, which is intersection 35, which means there is a lot of noise and cars passing by constantly. Data was collected using rope and a wooden base as a bird feeder. Oranges and apples and different types of seeds were used to attract birds. In this location, we would bird early in the morning, and we saw 5 species of birds, which were the northern cardinals, mourning doves, house sparrows, great-tailed grackles, and white-winged doves. In location A, the biodiversity index turned out to be 1.51.
Location B is north of Laredo near United High School. This area, there's not much traffic that passes by except for neighbors, and it is a relatively quiet neighborhood. In the back of the house, there's a piece of terrain filled with trees and shrubs. It almost looks like a ranch. However, recently there has been a lot of construction around the area with building new houses and roads. In this area, we birded in the morning between 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. or in the afternoon between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. The bird feeder was made using recycled materials, such as a black plastic container and a piece of rope. In order to attract birds, different fruits, bird food, and sunflower seeds were placed in the bird feeder. In this area, there were 8 different species of birds found, which are the northern cardinal, the great-tailed grackle, the house sparrow, white-winged dove, red-winged blackbird, the northern mockingbird, the mourning dove, and the black vulture. The biodiversity index value for location B is 1.58. Back in spring 2020 at La Perla Ranch, there were a total of 57 different bird species and 549 birds seen at the area. The biodiversity index for La Perla Ranch was 8.43. Moreover, at Laredo College, there were 27 different bird species found and 252 birds combined. The biodiversity index for this area was 2.07. Furthermore, for spring 2021 in location A, there were a total of 5 different bird species and 128 birds combined. The biodiversity index for location A is 1.51. In location B, there were a total of 8 different bird species and 149 birds combined. After using the Shannon Wiener formula, the biodiversity for this location is 1.58.
This research gave us the opportunity to explore and capture so many amazing birds and their habitats. The hypothesis for spring 2021, which was that location B would have a higher biodiversity index, ended up being correct. Even though location A and B were in very different parts of town, they had a very similar biodiversity. Overall, it has been a great experience to be able to conduct this experiment from home and get to know the birds that live around us. We'd like to acknowledge Dr. Nora Garza, Vice President for Research Development and External Affairs, Rosemary Agüero Riojas, LEAPS Project Director, Yolanda Kelly, Faculty Mentor, Gabriela Solis Cavazos, Undergraduate Research Coordinator, funded by Hispanic Serving Institute. Thank you for your time.